Welcome to the YouTube Creators Hub podcast, where we help you conquer the internet one video at a time. We cover everything from how to start a YouTube channel to how to make a video go viral. And now, here's your host, the one and only Dusty Porter.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 414 of the YouTube Creators Hub podcast. Welcome if you're a new listener, and welcome back if you join us each and every week. I really appreciate anyone who downloads and takes a listen to the show. I really think we continue to release some of the best interviews in the creator space. Last week, I sat down with Anderson Blue, someone who is in the graphic design space with over 350,000 subscribers. He's grown his channel using vertical video and off-platform strategies, and it was a wonderful interview, so go check it out if you haven't already. Huge thank you to TubeBuddy for continuing to sponsor the show, going on over a decade of partnering with them. If you want to check out what TubeBuddy has to offer, you can certainly do so by looking at the links in the description of this podcast. A couple of ways you can connect with me. I have one of the fastest growing YouTube creator communities. I call it our mastermind group. You can support us over on Patreon for $5 to get access to that, plus our monthly mastermind calls. Head on over to our Patreon page and you can see all of the previous calls and get a view of what that might look like for yourself if you join. So if you're looking for a place to rub elbows with other creators, that's the place to do that. And then two more things. I offer YouTube coaching and consulting for brands and your business and launching a podcast. If that's something you're interested in, look at those links as well. And then finally, I have a newsletter called the Entrepreneur's Minute, and I'm going to be launching a new business/entrepreneur podcast in the next couple of months. So stick around for news on that. All of those links will be down below. Also, if you would, subscribe to the podcast wherever you consume it. You can also watch this on YouTube in video version if you'd like to see our glorious faces as we talk about YouTube and creator stuff. And with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into this week's conversation. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's conversation on the YouTube Creators Hub podcast. Dusty here as always. Today's guest, Nick Andrews. He is a semi-retired entrepreneur that now spends his time investing in companies, running a sports card podcast and YouTube channel called Sports Card Madness. He told me that he really didn't take YouTube that serious until kind of the first half of this year with the podcast, and then started optimizing thumbnails and saw where the growth could happen. And he's really got a great community over on his YouTube channel now. So if you would like to follow along, again, his YouTube channel is Sports Card Madness. Nick, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dusty. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So tell me the origin story of, I guess, the podcast in a sense, but the YouTube channel specifically, as far as what made you guys say, okay, we have this podcast, or did you launch the YouTube channel in tandem with the podcast? Give us the whole story of how that happened.
Yes, last July, 2023, we decided to stop boring our families to death talking about sports cards at barbecues and decided to hit record. And we did that with just Zoom and started recording podcasts and pushed them out on an audio channel. And then we thought to ourselves, I guess we need this on YouTube because some of our fans or whatever are saying, we'd like to watch you or we'd like to have this available on YouTube. So I literally started, the first episode, July of last year, was just a hard upload, like raw file. Here you go. That was the episode. There was no thumbnail. It was about as bad as it can get. So that's how we started, essentially.
And so you did what the normal podcast does transitioning over to YouTube. You did a static image with the audio kind of in the background. I did that myself. I discovered early on that's never going to work. People want to see the faces. They want to see the things that you're talking about, and being able to just up the game just a little bit has really improved my presence on YouTube for this podcast. And so I know how that works. So what were the early kind of in February when you said, we're going to take this serious, what were the things that you implemented? You're an entrepreneur, you're a businessman, so your wheel's always turning. So what were the things that you implemented early on to see that initial growth?
Yeah, there were a lot of key areas. The first one was making sure it was watchable, actually editing the episode to make sure that it was tighter and shorter and more absorbable for the YouTube channel and that attention span. And the second was thumbnails, actually creating high quality, high resolution thumbnails. So I'm still doing it in Canva. I'm very happy with Canva. I realize I'll probably have to level up to Adobe Illustrator or something at some point, but for now it seems to be working pretty well. So we added thumbnails. We made the videos better. I also had the audience in mind. So storytelling, we got better at storytelling. We would tease things in the beginning. We would tease things in the middle. We'd have something at the end for people to look forward to. And then the final thing was we were starting it off with an audiogram, like you said, a static image of the logo and just an audiogram of the voice. I've never seen a retention graph plummet so bad. You go to 80% in 8 seconds. So obviously we got rid of that, made a reasonable intro. And it's something I'm still working on. Like I want to do a nice bumper video for the beginning. We're just not there yet. But February, I actually started to care. So I did those things. And what do you know? People started watching. It started getting shared more. And it started to do a lot better. Oh, and we promoted it on the audio channel, which the audio pod is quite downloaded, and it's like top 50 in the US for hobbies. And we were just like, oh, can we put like a 15-second commercial in there for the YouTube channel? And we did, and that really helped too. Things.
What does, just out of curiosity, because a lot of just creators who are interested in podcasting and streaming, and not just specifically YouTube, are listening to this, what does a top 50 category podcast look like download wise? What download numbers are you getting?
It depends on the episode, but for this particular niche, we'll get 1,000, 2,000 downloads a week, something like that.
Yeah.
Again, that's just pure audio. That's Spotify, Apple, and all that, obviously. And YouTube now is a bit different. Obviously, some videos will get 30,000 views, some will get 6,000, some will get 500. It depends. That's the other thing we added to YouTube. The podcast is on Tuesdays and Fridays, but on YouTube, sometimes we're uploading 5 or 6 videos a week, and they are exclusive to the YouTube channel. Thoughts on things. We have different episodes about things happening in sports cards that just aren't really appropriate for the audio channel as well. So it's like a cherry for them to go to the channel and get more.
You're just supplementing is what you're doing. You're adding extra value over there to get them. Now, I want to ask you, how much crossover have you seen? Because as a podcaster myself, I found that there has been a lot of people discover me on the YouTube channel and then decide to listen and subscribe to the actual audio show. And they've told me that. They've messaged me on X or they found me on Instagram and been like, hey, we discovered you on YouTube through a video podcast, but then we listened to podcasts, obviously, through our phone. And so we did that. So have you done much research as far as how much crossover there is between the audio show as well as the video version of it?
Yeah, I try to poll the audience, and it's fascinating. It's almost an even split. Half prefer audio, half prefer YouTube. And the reasons are always so interesting. A lot of people will put YouTube on their phone in the car. They obviously won't watch it. If they're in stop and go traffic, they might glance and see a few things, and they've got the audio as well. Or they're working and we're up in the top right of a computer monitor at work and they're doing their thing. So I think it just gives you that bonus video. And I've seen the stats don't lie. I mean, overall, YouTube is growing massively for a podcast format and a podcast channel. It's actually, I think, the preferred one officially right now. I don't have an exact number, but I think it's pretty healthy. We have a Facebook group too where we ask this stuff.
Yeah, and people are consuming content on YouTube differently than how they used to. People are completely fine with opening up a YouTube video, popping in their AirPods, putting their phone down, and listening to the video just like it's a podcast. And I've realized myself doing that, and so I know other folks do it as well. And you're just leaving a lot on the table if you're not optimizing or trying to upload a podcast to YouTube. I love that. So let's go ahead now and talk about just the video side of things. You mentioned Canva, which is what you're using for thumbnails.
Yep.
What is something that you wish you would have known sooner? I love this question. Something that you're looking back at now and you're like, man, a year ago, whenever this whole thing started, if I would have just known this, I might have progressed even farther quicker.
Yeah, I wish I had known the 4 essential tools you need. You need Zoom or StreamYard. You need a good professional platform for audio or video that's going to go past a particular length of time. So that's how you record your medium, right? I wish I had known about that. CapCut is amazing. I wish I had known about that. I use CapCut Pro for pretty much everything, and it's great. We have anonymous people on, and I'll do an AI voice for them, and it's perfect. They have no idea who the guest is. Just upgrading to CapCut Pro is like a game changer, just with the different things you can do with it. And these are all we're talking $100 a year type of stuff. CapCut, Canva, Zoom. Yeah, I wish I had known about, somebody could just said, hey, use these 4 things and you're good for a couple of years.
Yeah, Cut is becoming quite a industry heavy hitter because oftentimes people heard the big names like Adobe Premiere Pro, then there's free different versions like DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut. But if you are a creator right now and you have a phone and you're filming on your phone and you're looking for kind of a lower barrier to entry, specifically for vertical video and YouTube Shorts, CapCut it's hard to beat that. There's a young man I work with and know through my church, and he has a media company where he goes out and he films high schoolers and their sporting events where he's promoting his business and he's trying to help these young athletes get out there for college and stuff like that. And so he's got a great little business going, and he uses CapCut on his iPad, and he can do everything from it. And some of the stuff he creates is just amazing. I think I'm with you. If you find the tools, I also found, Nick, that oftentimes I can get overwhelmed and really bogged down by trying to figure out what tools I should use, and I waste time doing that instead of working with the business and the channel and the things that I should be doing.
And getting better at the tools you're already using. And I have one more tip for the audience that I discovered. The copyright stuff on the YouTube music was driving me so crazy that me and my son just pulled up GarageBand. And I'm telling you, within a half hour, you could just make your own music. And it sounds good. And I will send it to the audience. I'll say 1 to 3, 3 to 6, 9 to 10. What do you rate this song? And you're good. You're done. You have like copyright free music. And it's a piece of cake.
Yeah. Being able to, like we talked about off air, like putting yourself out there, being willing to tinker around and mess up. That's why I'm the tech support for my family, because people think that if they do use technology, they're going to blow something up. But I explain to them, like, honestly, my motto is I click until something breaks or click until it works. And that's just basically it. You got to figure it out. You got to work in there. And YouTube is a game of consistency, of uploading. And as you're getting more consistent, you're learning as you go. And so I love that. Now, you are a podcast first. And so audio is a big thing for you. So talk about audio quality and how you have improved it along your journey and kind of things and practices that you've put in play to make sure you sound as good as you can.
Yeah, the biggest exponential game changer was the first thing I did is I get the Blue Yeti like everybody does because it looks nice and it's stylish. The problem is that's a microphone that it'll pick up sounds from your basement. It's not great for podcasting. It's great for other things. I actually I have a $90 small dynamic microphone. It is a game changer. I can throw it in my backpack if I need it. Dynamic is the key, and I feel like it has sounded so much better. So that's one game changer. And then the other one, again, if you have CapCut Pro, or I'm sure whatever you're using, the Pro version, they have a studio audio formatting thing, which is great. It removes like the pops and clicks and breaths and stuff like that. And it's just a click of a button. It's awesome. We've pulled off miracles. We had something where we lost the video feed from Zoom. It didn't record, but we had somebody on site with a 4K camera recording somebody, and the phone we were using to communicate, I was able to pull the sound off of that in CapCut with some studio wizardry, and it was acceptable. So I think just like mess around with the formatting and get the mic.
I love that. So you are in the sports card niche, so you know exactly who your target audience is. And on YouTube, you're really growing a rather large and active community over there. So talk about community building. Community building for a podcast is a bit different because of the way that people listen, because you're in their ear oftentimes 20, 30, an hour, 90 minutes at a time. And so you can build that relationship quite quickly because of just the nature of the consumption. But on YouTube, it's completely different, right? Like you have to build it, you put your face out there. There's a lot that can get in the way. So speak on community building and how you're building the community on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, so we started on Instagram. I do the podcast with my brother-in-law, and on Instagram, I've got a decent following on there, and it's all sports card related. Sports cards are very visual. So if you have a visual medium, Instagram's perfect for that. There's videos of opening packs. There's pictures of cards. You can converse. You can do lives. And that's where the community was to begin. And then we took that and said, hey, guys, we're starting a pod. And we brought them over to listen to the pod. And then we also started up a Facebook group where people could give us ideas for episodes or just chime in if they want to be a guest or they know somebody who wants to be a guest. And then I think the thing I have not been as good about is the community tab on YouTube. I've tried to do some polls there and some posts there. It's working. We haven't put a ton of time into it yet. So really, the community is on Instagram for the most part.
So you mentioned you haven't put a lot of time there specifically. Can you talk about where you are putting your time? Because I think that's the hardest thing for creators to figure out is that they can feel like they're all over the place. Should I work on thumbnail? Should I work on storytelling? Should I work on getting better in front of a camera? My audio, my gear. They pulled in so many different directions. Where have you found the most return on investment with your time on the YouTube channel? And like, where are you and your brother-in-law and whoever's working on the channel? Like, where are you guys focusing right now, currently, and as we're recording this?
Yeah, I think number one for me is just having good, interesting guests. So that for me is good content. Now, if you have a cooking channel, that's totally different, right? Like you need a good concept or a good idea. I think that's what it would translate to for a different niche. But I think just having like interesting conversations is the most important thing. That takes a while, like finding the right people, screening people, and then the bulk of my time just video editing, heaven or hell, however you want to put it, just really making it every single video I put up, I want to make sure I'm like 5% better. Just edit this little thing here, add some music there, or think about the story. And if you do 100 videos, by that 100th video, you're going to be you. I look back, we have a video with an NBA Hall of Famer, Walt Frazier. I am embarrassed to send traffic to that video. Like I'm making shorts from it. And I'm like, I don't even want to send them there. So you're just like, just get better at video editing and the storytelling and things like that. The microphone, it's table stakes, right? You show up to a poker table, you put $20 down, you can play. Like the microphone, you can figure that out in a day and then you're good. You're able to be in the game, right? It's the stuff that takes time is like that thumbnail to be a little bit better and the story to be better and the content to be a little better.
Man, that's really good. I completely agree. I don't really have much to add there. Now, obviously, with everything, with something on YouTube as the nature of what you're doing with sports cards, there's the ability to monetize. And you mentioned to me, and when you filled out the form to come on the show, you mentioned to me that you're monetized now on the YouTube channel. But can you speak about like how you're making money on the show right now, maybe even some estimates of what you're making? And
Sure, yeah.
then after that, we'll talk about the different buckets that you're using to make that money.
Yeah, so we got monetized late June of this year, so 2024. It was weird. We had 1,000 hours like right away because it's a podcast and people listen or watch for a long time. We didn't have the subs. That took some time. Then we finally did. We turned it on. The first month I think we made like $900, which pretty good. And then in the app, it says we have a $21 CPM, which I think is relatively decent. I haven't geeked out on the RPM and all that stuff yet, but this thing right now, my brother-in-law and I aren't really necessarily in it for the money. We're having fun. We like the stories. We really like meeting people. I get nice cards as a side benefit, but obviously we want to pay for the production costs and everything. So we are starting to approach the idea of sponsorships. So that first month was like $800. This month looks like this is literally the second month of monetization. I think it's probably going to be 500 or something like that. And then obviously sponsorships will be key at some point. We're starting to have professional level conversations. So we have a conversation with Whatnot, which is a big live selling platform and breaking platform for cards. And we hope that they might do it, but we're not desperate. I think that's key. Yeah. And then obviously I've got 15 years of experience in affiliate marketing. That is a piece of cake. If I need to monetize specific aspects of this, and I can just reach out to affiliate agencies and just look at the roster of sports companies or companies that target 99% men that are middle-aged and just hit them up. But I'm in no rush. I think I care way, way more about making good content and good videos right now. The money will work itself out later on. We'll use that first paycheck for better lighting and stuff like that, but it's not like a chief concern.
I think that's what so many successful creators come at it the way that you are, and I did early on, is that I'm doing it because I like doing it and it's a passion of mine, and then it turns into a money-making thing. Now, it's a little different if you're a business like a dentist office or a lawyer's office and you're trying to expand the brand by getting on YouTube. There's obviously different purposes for starting a YouTube channel, but if you're coming at it strictly to make money from the ad and that rug could get pulled out from under you at any time. And so not putting all your eggs in one basket. So hearing you say that really, I hope, resonates with the audience of maybe I should reassess why I'm doing what I'm doing, and the content will end up being better in return. So I really love to hear you talk about that. Now, you are a person who has way, way more experience than even I do at affiliate marketing. So can you talk about how you are going to use affiliate marketing if needed with the YouTube channel, and how you see affiliate marketing working on YouTube, and how to optimize get the best bang for your buck?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got ideas. I've got obviously a 15-year playbook in my head. I think there's 3 things you can do. Number one, you join, this is free and you can do it in 15 minutes. You join a major affiliate marketing platform. CJ, otherwise known as Commission Junction, they have 3,000 to 4,000 advertisers on there. You join there and there's a repository, and you can literally just look at the contact info for, if you're a cooking channel, maybe there's a nice spoon or a nice pan company or something like that. Hit them up. I will tell you, this is like really important information. They love content like this. They love YouTubers. They love bloggers because it's very genuine. It is an amazing audience. They hate the SEO review site junk. They really care about a human being using their product. I guarantee you'll get a free product, you'll get a discount code you can offer your audience. And then in terms of tactically what you should do, once you have that relationship or have established it, I think there's a few ways. You could pin a comment on a popular video. That's one way, right? Check out the pan I used in this video. Or for me, it's like, check out these cases I use for my cards. That's one way. Another way where you don't have to deal with links because they're a little clunky is just a promo code. So technology's caught up. 10 years ago, it was very difficult to attribute your commission based on a promo code. It is not difficult now. All the networks do it. So when you have that relationship with a potential client, you say, can I get a promo code to offer my audience and make sure it links back to me? So let's say it'd be like YouTube 10 or something like that. Right. So that's another one. I could go on and on, but those are just some basics for sure.
What are ways that you, in transitioning into the affiliate side of your brain right now, what are ways that you early on, when you were doing it more full time with the affiliate marketing, what were the ways that you were getting your link and promo code out there? Are there creative ways that video creators and podcasters can use to, you mentioned the promo code. Do you have any just kind of power user tips for affiliate marketing that the creators listening to this show might can implement for their kind of content?
Yeah, it's getting into my secret sauce a little bit, but I think the key here is to get a promo code that's unique and better than any promo code out there. So you get a deal that's not widely available or semi-exclusive. Once you have that deal, people are going to want it because it's like you're giving them gold. So here you go. You have a nice deal. So I was early on Reddit. I found that to be a great platform, but obviously it depends on what your niche is. There are promo code sites out there that you can submit codes to very easily. If you have no following and no audience and no idea what you're doing, submit the code. Or just be, again, if you've got a channel, just be genuine and say, I like this product. They hooked me up for free. It's awesome. And this is 20% off if you want to check it out. Don't lie. If the product sucks, tell the affiliate marketing company or tell the company, and maybe they'll try a different product with you or something like that. I think being genuine is the most important thing before you go out and try to optimize and get the word out everywhere. But again, Reddit is a great place too. So you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You go on a cooking subreddit, right? You get active there. Hey man, I've got this awesome YouTube channel. And by the way, they hooked me up with this code that nobody's got. If you guys want to use it. And so now you're making money off of Reddit and your channel.
Yeah, I love that. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So I want to ask now about we'll talk about the future of your channel towards the end of the show here, what you got planned for kind of the short term and the long term. But the next question that I wanted to ask you is about, we're in 2024 and AI is a buzzword. People love talking about artificial intelligence. As a creator, are you using any tools that you can talk about here on the show and things that might have saved you time or made your workflow more efficient?
My goodness. Yeah, I'm thankful. I'm 44, but I can learn new tricks, thankfully. I've used ChatGPT and Google Gemini. I found that Google Gemini is far superior. And not only that, obviously Google owns YouTube, right? So when you type in something like, please make this a better YouTube description or make this a better title, you can put that into Google Gemini and it'll rattle off 5 great titles. It'll give you the hashtag keywords. And you better listen because it's literally telling you, I'm Google. This is what will work in me, which, by the way,
Yeah.
is YouTube.
Yeah.
So I found that has been, I'll just type gobbledygook sometimes for what I got from a paragraph and send it in. The other power tool, this has been awesome. So on Zoom, we've got an AI summary now.
Yeah.
You hit that button, you summarize the pod or summarize the conversation. You throw that whole thing into Google Gemini and say, just make me a YouTube description. It will make a beautiful one with the title. So that's been great. And then when a guest wants to stay anonymous, which is the case sometimes, I'll use AI in CapCut to disguise their voice. It's pretty awesome. And I'll do some thumbnail stuff. There's a couple tools. Forget the name. It's within Canva, though. It's you get 3 a day. I could type like, I want a lion playing a piano, smoking a cigar, and it will make an image, literally that image. And it's pretty cool. And you can just add that to the thumbnail.
Yeah, I think we're in the early stages of that stuff. I tried some of the thumbnail stuff early on. It was so bad that I couldn't ever implement it. But I think that as it gets better, I think that that when that stuff becomes usable, I think it's going to be interesting. And it's really cool to hear you talk about using the voices to mask the guests that you have on that don't want to reveal kind of their identity, which I think is, again, that kind of stuff is going to be so much easier to do, whereas even 5 years ago, that was not. Yes. Short term and long term for the channel, what are you looking to do? What are your guys' plans?
Yeah, short term, we're having fun. And now we've decided to really put a lot of effort into it and grow this thing. So whatever money we make in it, we're going to put back into it. Long term, I'm still trying to figure out what the max is in this niche. And I'm sure everybody on your channel wonders this. So I look at search traffic, and on YouTube, it's about 350,000 a month for sports cards. I look at other creators in my area, and it seems like 100,000 or 200,000 is a cap. So that is the medium term. We want to try to get there. Then long term, I don't know, how you expand beyond this niche. Maybe it's like sports players opening cards or actors opening cards or something like that. We'll have to think about that. But really, it's just make good content, care about the channel, and put money back into it. Just get better and better, and just try to grow and build a bigger community.
Awesome. Nick, thank you so much. Is there any final words that you would say to creators listening to this? That we talked about a bunch of advice already here on the show for the past 30 minutes, but maybe something that we forgot to talk about or it didn't come up in conversation. What would be that bit of advice that you would give to those creators?
Yeah, I think I got 2 pieces of advice. So the first one is, don't worry when there will be videos that just don't do well, and it could ruin your day or your week, but don't let it because there's a reason it didn't do well. It's very easy to blame like the algorithm and stuff like that, but oftentimes it's just not a good video. And then you find out 6 months later why. So it all happens for a reason, and you get better for a reason. And the other one I would say is, I have to be better at this, is put YouTube Studio down and stop watching. Sometimes I'll watch it like I'm day trading, and you just got to put that away and just let it ride sometimes.
Man, that can consume so much of your time. I'd like to say that I've gotten away from it, but I still check it at least once a day, sometimes 2 or 3 times. So I can't sit here and lie to you guys and say that I've figured it out, but I do know that it hurts my productivity. My mental state can go all over the place. Let's say I'm having a good 48 hours on YouTube. That's great. But if I see it dropping where it's gone from, okay, well, if I average 100,000 views in 2 days, now it's gone to 90,000. Why is that? What's going, the world is collapsing on me. So don't let those numbers consume you so much to where you let it impact your ability to create future content, to then impact those numbers. So understanding how all of this works, and Nick's right, I was consuming it like I was day trading. So really good points there, really good tips. You can find Nick over on his YouTube channel, Sports Card Madness, and I'll put the link to the audio version as well as his YouTube channel in the show notes of this show. Nick, thank you again for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.
You got it. Thanks, Dusty.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening to this week's episode of the YouTube Creators Hub podcast. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget, you can subscribe to the show for absolutely free in your podcast player of choice. Also, there are ways you can connect with us. You can support us by supporting our sponsor, TubeBuddy, as well as supporting us over on Patreon to get access to our creator Discord community. And I also offer YouTube coaching and consultation, YouTube channel reviews, and just overall business coaching if that's something that you are wanting to look into. So make sure you check us out there, and we'll see you next week.